The policy of excluding openly gay men as Scout leaders has been widely criticized. Some consider it to be prejudicial and perpetrating negative stereotypes. It is inaccurate to assume that a relatively large percentage of homosexual men working as Scout leaders would be sexually exploiting Boy Scouts. Such assumptions can be based on antiquated misconceptions equating homosexuality with deviant sexual behavior, such as child molestation. But assertions that the vast majority of child molesters are heterosexual can be taken out of context, since heterosexuals comprise the vast majority of the general population. Even if it were to be established that homosexuals offend at a lower rate, there is still a significant number of homosexual offenders. However, if it were substantiated that heterosexual men would abuse Boy Scouts at a higher rate than homosexual men, the ban would be unjustified if based solely on prevention of sexual abuse. But what is the meaning of openly gay? What percentage of the general population is openly gay? What is the meaning of openly heterosexual? Does being openly gay imply overtly demonstrating one's sexuality? Should such issues of differences in sexuality be part of the Boy Scout experience? If the Boy Scout experience should in part reflect certain social realities, which realities are appropriate? If openly gay men comprise a very small percentage of the general population, what criteria is used to consider exposure to such individuals important for the Scouting experience? Also, which other categories of individuals should also be included? Which should be excluded? Are openly gay men normally part of the scene of one's routine day-to-day life? How common or significant are sightings or encounters with openly gay men? Should one's sexuality be a significant part of the Boy Scout experience? Should Boy Scouts be compelled to deal with certain controversial social sexual issues? What are the objectives of Scouting? Which facets of life should be emphasized? Which issues should be avoided? What are the expectations of the Boy Scouts and their parents? Besides enjoyment, learning skills, personal fitness, values, character, etc., what else should Scouting be about? Now consider the following. Openly gay Scout leaders doing an exceptional job and having the admiration and respect of Boy Scouts that look up to them. It is very common and normal for people to emulate or copy some of the mannerisms of some of those they hold in high esteem. This could have unintended consequences if some of the heterosexual Boy Scouts are later perceived by some as being homosexual. This, when openly gay, indicates having certain mannerisms associated with being homosexual. It should be taken into consideration how much of a role model and how influential Scout leaders can be. It would also be inaccurate to assume that a large percentage of heterosexual men would abuse Girl Scouts if allowed to be leaders. Would it then be prejudicial and perpetuating negative stereotypes to exclude heterosexual men as Girl Scout leaders?